What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Sorare NBA Game Week 9 here, and I've got a couple of rewards to show you, including a top 50 finish inside Rare Champion. And we're also going to go ahead and build my Game Week 9 lineups and have a look for the NBA Cup that's on Tuesday as well. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into it, shall we? Right then, so yes, we've got some rewards as well. A lot of them are boxes stuff, another super rare box to open up as well, which I probably will do as well here and show you. But we did come 37th in Rare Champion, which I think gives me a tier 3, if I remember rightly. We'll quickly rip open these common ones as well. Let me know in the comments down below how you've been getting on in terms of classic rewards, if you're playing in season stuff, how you've been winning. I am intrigued to know, especially on the classic and in season splits, how you've been finding it, if it's just been a lot of boxes you've been opening, or if you have been picking up some of those actual new season cards. Let's see who we get in this one here for 37th. Forward for the Nets, Jalen Wilson as a tier 3. So the tier systems, I'm still kind of trying to get my head together around them. Currently going for around £20 instant buy, but people aren't paying that on the offers. And this is something that I'll talk about in terms of on another video. But looking around the £12 margin for him now. Will I use him? Will I go out and buy another rare card and put another lineup in the in-season stuff? Potentially so. Potentially so. Potentially so. In terms of then the boxes that we have, I'll quickly just open the most important one. So we will open a super rare one if it does want to load. I'm still massively off in terms of super rare essence, which is a shame in terms of trying to get one open sooner rather than later. It's what, 75 for a tier 4 for a tier 4 card. I don't know how long that's going to take me. The rare stuff, we're at 47. We could almost craft one for the tier 4. And I think I've decided with my limited essence, I'm going to just hold it until I hit 500. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't really want to use it up until this point. I'd rather do it for the tier 1. We have a chance at a start and a 0.5% and a little bit more of a chance at a tier 1. I'd rather just use that and see what we get from it instead of going out in that manner. I think that's just, and also it'd be quite fun to open it on a stream or something like that. In any case, super rare box. It's 2 stars, not market credits. Market credits. And that's just not what I wanted to see. £23 in market credits. I'd rather have had the essence. But, you know, it is what it is. What can we do about it? We just have to move on. Super rare essence in these. Now, again, market credits. That's just, that's fine out of a 3-star box. But, again, I'd rather have had essence in terms of crafting these cards. If this is going to take a while, it's really slow for me for some reason on opening some of these. Can we get some essence? We do get essence. We get 1 rare essence. I am intrigued as well in terms of how you've been finding, and I want to know as well if you're playing limited specifically, or if you end up playing rare and some of the super rare stuff. How have you been like processing your lineups for the daily competitions? Because due to the fact you can't use the same cards in daily lineups and also in the lineups that you put out throughout the week, like we've seen with the Emirates Cup at the minute, I think it's unbelievably great how the Cup works. I just wish they'd have done it in the same manner that they do with football, where you can use the cards that you use in lineups, but also in the daily comps. It doesn't make sense to me that we can't do it. Okay, we've got some nice essence in that sense there right now. I'm not going to rip this for a tier 4, I don't think, because the odds on me getting a tier 4 are so high, and even the tier 3s are not that valuable. I think I'd rather, yeah, like these are the tier 4s that we're talking, and these are pretty much, tier 4s this year are basically tier 5s from last year, take out a few of the other guys. And yes, that in the NBA, they do have their value. There will be a week where Gary Harris is the guy, where Orlando Robinson is the guy, Jaden Springer is the guy. But I'd rather just hold my stuff and try and use it for a tier 2 that I know will be more beneficial when another chase comes on down the line, like when we have something for potentially the Christmas games, or we have a random one that they make up like they did in the MLB, or we have it for, I don't think they'll do anything for Thanksgiving stuff. I think that's a bit too soon, and it overlaps with the Emirates NBA Cup. But we have another chase down the line where I can use a new season card would come in handy, is all I'll say for that. In any case, before we jump into my lineups, I do have a quick message that I want to show you. For Season 3 on Sorare NBA, I've partnered up with Top Tier Projections to help optimize my lineups and help me win even more rewards this year. They have industry-leading projections for every competition and player in Sorare this season on the NBA, including the NBA Cup and other chases that are going to be coming out throughout the year. If you are looking to gain a little edge over the competition in the Sorare streets, I have left a link in the description down below for you to get started. And better yet, if you use code George10 as on the screen here, it will set you up with a nice little 10% discount for the whole season. I'll see you at the top of the leaderboards, and let's get back to the video. Right then, let me run you through the lineups that I have already put in for game week 9. And as you can see, there's 22 out of 24 done. So I thought I'd save some time. I'd do them ahead of time and then can run you through them instead of just kind of building them and dragging it out, essentially. Common champion then, I'm going for... I don't know if any of you are aware of this. I wasn't for the first 2 weeks, so I just want to make sure everyone is. You can play Common Champion and Contender this year with 4 cards of old season ones and 1 new season card. I didn't know that that was a thing. So I think if I didn't, maybe one person that watches this video might also not know this. And you can win some decent stuff from this. If you get inside the top 50, you do get a limited card. Obviously, there are tens of thousands of people that are playing in this one. But still, if you get top 25%, you get a box. You can get some essence. You can get some market credits. And hey, you know, it all adds up. It all adds up, doesn't it? It all adds up over the course of the season, that's for certain. So it's always worth doing in terms of leftover cards that you've got that you can throw in there and see how you can do in them. Outside of that, limited champion this week. So I've got 3 lineups. And the reason I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about this as well is I've got a Luca playing in my 3rd limited champion here. And now, obviously, he would be an MVP potential in the NBA Cup that's happening on Tuesday. But I don't know if I want to use him in this, where I think he'd be better potentially in the daily. And then that means that if I played him now and then want to use him in the daily, I then have to cancel the lineup. So I have to have a little think about that one. I'd also appreciate some help down below if you think I should do that. But I don't know. There's something that's just a bit odd with choosing ahead of time where I could play someone this week in a daily lineup. But I digress. Giannis, Fred VanVleet, Jalen Duran, Jalen Green, and Miles Turner. 2 Jalen's up the top there for me in the champ one. Hoping again we can kind of, you know, pick up maybe a potential little card reward there and also just scoop up those 3-star boxes. Limited contender. So I also prioritize champion. I will pick my 3 best champion lineups and then go into contender. It's how I just have been doing it this year. And sometimes it ends up being that the cards that I haven't been playing in champion end up doing better in a contender lineup anyway. I mean, hey, the season has been very odd in terms of scoring, I'll say so far. Tyrese Halliburton, RJ Barrett, Jarris Walker, Josh Green, Mo Wagner. The Magic do have 3 game weeks this week. So do the Denver Nuggets. So I think if you've got some of those players like a Franz Wagner that I've got here, Jonathan Isaac, you can try and squeeze them in. I don't really have any of the top Denver guys. I don't have a Jokic card, and I haven't had one for the entirety I played this game, which is kind of nuts when I think about that. And I probably should get one, but I don't have any of them. So if you have the Denver guys this week, they are absolute smash plays alongside some of the Magic guys, just purely because of the 3 games that they've got this week. And then in Underdog, a collection of some of the random sort of odds and bobs that have low L10s that could potentially fly off this week. I don't see Jaden Hardy or Pat Connaughton flying off, but Jalen Noel, I can see it happening. Casey Wallace, I can see him having a big game. Gary Harris, again, one of that Magic core that we was mentioning earlier in terms of 3 games. I think all of those are pretty solid options in that sense. If I go outside of that, then we go down into rare. Now, I've got 2 rare champion lineups I really like this week in terms of having a different blend of people. I really like AD at the minute in terms of an MVP. I think he started the season unbelievably well in terms of what he did with the Spurs as well. The other night was amazing. And JJ Redick seems to really, really have him as the number 1 guy. I know LeBron's on like his 700th career triple-double in a row. Whatever he's been doing is crazy for the age that he's at, but this team is really Anthony Davis's team. If we look outside of there, this one here, Jalen Duran, I've got him in 2 priority lineups is my only concern this week in terms of the limited one up top here, and he's also in my rare one. But I really like this core. We are waiting for a big Mikal Bridges game. I wish we could just click on it and see it there, but we can't. And Giannis is just the guy at the minute for the Bucks. I think Dame is back, but again, it's the same sort of. These guys are reoccurring themes. They're all around that 30 mark for Bridges, VanVleet, Turner. Jalen Duran's a little bit lower than it, but just waiting for them to hopefully have that sort of big game like RJ Barrett had the other night. I think he's on a career last L10 of, or L15 of 37 at the minute. had a triple-double the other night. He's really been finding his feet as well in Toronto. And then a couple of other pieces in terms of just piecing together some rare contending lineups. Again, Paul George, Bobby Portis, GW9 can all go off. Harrison Barnes is a really odd one. I have him in there. He just fills that gap, and I don't really want to go out and buy any of the other guys this week. Same goes here. I've got Jakob Poeltl and Jaron Jackson Jr. who've been doing really well. JRE's been playing quite well. Jalen Noel's just got a low L10, and the same with Derek Jones Jr. I did think about moving Josh Okogie into one of these good lineups, but I know he had that 45-point game when he came back, and then has sort of digressed in the two since. But I think there is scope. I think his L10 was 11. So if you're looking for someone in around that mark, I'd recommend Okogie. Gary Trent Jr. as well. It's been a weird one since he's gone to the Bucks. His L10's fallen to 13, and he's a very good player. It's just not working in Milwaukee. I don't know why, but he has not found any form at all. I even got moved out of the starting lineup, which is an odd one. And then you'll notice when we come down here, I don't have anything in Super Rare Contender or Champion. Now, there is a reason for this. And my Super Rare Contender lineup, and this is where I really think there is a slight issue with the current setup. And Super Rare in general is a funky one. I'd really love for it to be a lot better than it is in terms of scaling up. There doesn't seem to be that much love for Super Rare, is what I'll say. And it's an issue for everyone playing, even if you don't play Super Rare, because the whole skier and the sort of linear system and the building up system and the scarcity system of the game is to progress. And I feel like Super Rare at the minute, it's not enticing enough, is what I'll say. Now, my point being, I could go ahead and, like last week I came 26th or whatever. I digress on that point. If I go and build a lineup in Super Rare Contender for this week, when there's 5 different game week opportunities in daily, if I had any Magic Super Rares or Denver Super Rares, if I put them in this lineup, I have one opportunity to win a reward in this pool here of coming in the top 25% or top 7 to win a card. Now, top 7 is really, really tight, I think, in terms of winning a card. I feel like it should be a bit better than that, but that's for another point. I have to come in the top 25% within this week to win one reward. Now, if I go into Daily Hoops, if I just had Orlando Magic and Denver Nuggets Super Rare cards this week, I would have 3 different nights to be able to potentially win some cards. So, for example, tonight, where it's a 3-pointers gain 3 extra points, blocks and steals and rebounds gain 2 points extra, I have a better chance of winning in Daily Hoops across the week than I do in winning once in the week. Now, I know the argument will be, well, yeah, but you can win a card that you could then sell, and you can't do that in the Daily Hoops sense. But because you have to come in the top 7, it's incredibly unlikely. I don't know what the percentage chances are, but you have the exact same percentage chance of winning a box in Daily Hoops than you do in the weekly competitions, which just feels a little bit skewed. That's all I want to say for that, man. I think we'll get into it, and I really do want to dive into it a bit more once we've had a little bit more time playing. I know we're in game week 9. I normally like to wait until sort of 15, game week 20 before I comment and see what's been going well and what's not been. But that's one thing that just doesn't sit right with me. And it's the same premise in terms of rare and limited. It's just a little bit more of a sense on the Super Rare side because of how bigger it is all I'll say for it. The rare sense is exactly the same as well. If you're playing in a rare gallery, sometimes it's better to just play the daily, which does seem a bit odd. But I do love the daily hoop competitions. I play them pretty much every day for it when we go through that. I think they're really, really enticing. They're really, really fun to have different competitions each day. I just think it needs to be tweaked. I think it's been a brilliant addition, but I think it needs to be tweaked, is all I'll say from that one there. So, yeah, I've got all of these lineups. Let me know how you're getting on Sorare NBA as well. I am really interested to know how you've been finding it, how you've been finding the new season. And I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up here. If you are new around here and you do enjoy the Sorare NBA content that we do here, please consider dropping a subscription down below. Leave a like on the video and let me know how you've been getting on. For all else, I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.